Hey y'all, welcome back to Dirty Facts Hollywood. We have been doing a full deep dive on Roman Polanski. We covered his introduction, his childhood, his career, and his relationships. Now we are at the part of this story that puts everything else in the shade. Put the snack down. This is part 4. This is your trigger warning. All right, y'all, I need you to put the snack down for real now, because we are about to get into it. And by it, I mean the part of this story that made me have to walk away from my computer and go touch some grass in my garden for a minute. I came back. Unfortunately, because this story doesn't get better. Polanski's legal troubles began in 1977 when he was accused of giving substances to a 13-year-old girl and assaulting her. Her name was Samantha Gailey, later known as Samantha Geimer after she married. By his own admission, Polanski had long been drawn to very young women. He met his current wife, Emmanuelle Seigner, when she was 19 and he was 52. In his autobiography, he openly discussed pursuing girls as young as 15. In 1976, Polanski accepted an assignment from French Vogue to photograph a series of young girls. That is how he met Samantha Geimer. She was 13 and an aspiring actress. He photographed her alone, no parents present. After a few clothed photos, he instructed her to remove her top, and she complied. In his own words, he wrote admiringly of her appearance, said she had a nice chest, if you catch my meaning, followed by, "I took pictures of her changing and topless." A few months later, Polanski took Geimer to Jack Nicholson's house for a second shoot. He photographed her drinking champagne and encouraged her to keep drinking. He then instructed her to remove her top again, gave her part of a quaalude, got her into a jacuzzi, and began removing her clothing entirely. He then removed his own clothing and joined her. In his autobiography, he wrote, "We weren't saying much now, and I could sense a certain erotic tension between us." Geimer later said in her own book, "I didn't want to have relations, but apparently that is what was going to happen. Yeah, when he wanted to get into the jacuzzi, I knew I was in trouble. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew whatever was on his mind was not a good thing." She was clearly disoriented and under the influence. She did not want what happened next. She faked an asthma attack to get out of the tub and got dressed. Polanski followed her inside. According to Polanski's own account, "We dried ourselves off. She said she was feeling better. Then, very gently, I began to kiss and caress her. After this had gone on for some time, I led her over to the couch. There was no doubt about her experience and lack of inhibition. She spread herself and I entered her. She was unresponsive." Geimer testified that she said no multiple times. She wasn't physically fighting back. She was under the influence, alone in the house with no way out, and he was physically overpowering her. According to her testimony, Polanski then asked when her last period was and whether she was on the pill. When she said no, Geimer testified that he asked if he could go in through her backside. She said no, and he proceeded anyway, committing the act of Sodom and Gomorrah against her will. When it was over, she went to the car and cried. Polanski drove her home and told her not to say anything to her mother, clearly aware by then that she had not been a willing participant. That night, Geimer told her boyfriend what had happened. Her mother overheard and called the police. The next night, Polanski was arrested. Geimer later said, "It was awful. Everybody knew at school. People came to school with cameras and things were being said and printed. No one believed me. Everybody thought I was making it up. And my mom called the police and the police came over. They take you to the hospital, then they take you to the police station. The next morning we're getting up at 6:30. We're going to court. I mean, I just went in my room pretty much. I would have just walked away from it the next day, but you can't stop it once it starts." Documents from the case also revealed that Polanski had previously pursued Nastasia Kinski, who was 15 when their relationship began. This became part of the broader pattern prosecutors pointed to. One documentary subject noted, Why did the mother bring her 13-year-old daughter into this situation? He was a known womanizer. He certainly had a lot of women over the years, and he loved young women. This was a guy with a pretty wild reputation. Why would her mother allow her to be alone with Polanski? Geimer responded directly, "I don't like always getting the 'where was your mom?' It's like, just give my mom a break." Geimer also recalled, "Over half an hour. I have 2 or 3 glasses of champagne and he's filling it before it gets empty, so I don't really know how much it is. She tried to refuse the Quaalude but eventually took it. I just didn't have the ammunition or the maturity to stop it, and so I didn't, because I didn't know how, and so I just let it happen." The assault ended only when Jack Nicholson's girlfriend Angelica Houston knocked on the door. When the trial began, Polanski was charged with 6 counts, including crimes I cannot name on this platform. He pleaded guilty, hoping for a deal that would keep him out of prison. He was ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. The judge refused the plea arrangement and indicated Polanski could face up to 50 years in prison. Fearing that outcome, Polanski fled. He boarded a flight to Paris, hours before his scheduled sentencing, and has remained in Europe ever since. In his own words, "At that time I thought there was no more point in enduring it, and I just left. As you know, that was quite a splash." When asked directly by a reporter why he was leaving the country, Polanski played dumb. "Sorry? What?" "Yes." A law enforcement official put it plainly, "That's not a punishment." He was charged with very serious crimes that would incur state prison time. He gave a 13-year-old girl alcohol and drugs, violated her, Sodom and Gomorrah'd her, and got off with nothing. Then he skipped the country hours before sentencing. Meanwhile, Polanski rebuilt his life in France with considerable prestige. In France, he was celebrated. In America, he was wanted. Hook into part 5. And if you think the story ends there, it does not. In part 5, we are getting into his own words from interviews, the additional accusers who came forward decades later, and the bigger conversation about what Polanski's legacy means for Hollywood and for all of us. Part 5 is the one that's going to make you want to leave a comment. See you there.